How's everybody doing? I want to talk about Brandon Tatum. He is a lie. He is not to be trusted. He is not to be believed. And I'm going to break it down to you because he got exposed. Matter of fact, he exposed himself on the Nancy Grace show. And I'm going to show you the clips where she asked him directly, did these so-called white friends of Nolan Wells, did they or did they not take legitimate polygraph tests? Because this man's been running around claiming that they've took a polygraph test because his goal is not to seek justice. His goal is to be a shield, to be a cape for white people. Because let's just keep it real. He uses being a former police officer as his shield to say to everybody in the world that criticizes him, I was an officer, so I know more about the law than all of y'all. But the fact of the matter is, was he really that dedicated to being an officer when the man left? Let me look over here and let you know what this man's background is. Brandon Tatum left the Tucson Police Department in October 2017 to pursue a full-time career in conservative media digital commentary and public speaking after a social media video went viral. Now, he didn't leave the Tucson Police Department because he was disciplined or got into some kind of scandal. He left because he saw the money, because he had a massive following on social media, because he was telling white people, the mega heads, what they wanted to hear, and at the same time, dumping, shitting all over black people. Most of these black conservatives, they make most of their bones on talking about black people in a negative way by capping, or should I say, not, yeah, he definitely caps. Why caping is the proper word for me to say here for white people. He's doing the same thing with the Nolan Wells case. This man, if he was really seeking the truth, why didn't he go talk to the family first and get their perspective? His goal was to get the perspective and do what we call damage control and to try to change the narrative as he accuses those of us on social media of doing so when he's doing the same thing and he lies. This is not the first time that Brandon Tatum has lied. This man has a history of lying about a lot of stuff on social media. Not to be trusted, and he got busted on Nancy Grace's show. Let me go ahead and show you the video that's in question here. And when you watch this video, you're going to notice when she's talking to him, like a buck dancer, he bucks his eyes. He goes, watch this.
Have the friends taken polygraphs?
Well, from my understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph, and from what was told to me that they all passed. And all of the ones that took a polygraph took one without a lawyer. And they cooperated with law enforcement. So from my understanding, everybody took a polygraph test. Why do you say that's
from what you understand? Did they tell you they took a poly and passed?
Yes, ma'am. They told me that they did it. I wasn't there. So that's what I'm saying from my understanding. They told me that all the boys except one, which is Warren, I believe, took a polygraph test. All of them did not have lawyers and did it and cooperated with police. Warren also cooperated with police. I just believe he didn't take a lot to take the test, but Warren is the young man that I interviewed. So according to what they told me, they all took a lie detector test and passed. And it's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's not a traditional lie detector test, but it's the same theology of trying to get to if a person is lying. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's a different methodology. I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors in order to analyze if the people were telling the truth or not.
Did they take a polygraph would be no.
So as you can see, when she confronted him, he started talking about, oh, well, I don't know if it was no, it wasn't a polygraph test. It was some type of stress test or what have you. Pure nonsense, everybody. The man lied. He said polygraph test, and when he was jammed up by Nancy Grace, she jammed him up and said, look, did they take a polygraph? And then he comes out and he admits, and then he laughs, he giggles. He has that giggle on his face near the end. Let me break what this really is. Let me tell you what they took, okay? They took what they called a information test, a CIT, formerly known as the Guilty Knowledge Test. It is a memory detection technique that was used by the FBI in particular for multiple choice questions, right? Physiological responses, recognition, matrix to check if a person knows specifically a crime details. So it's sort of like a truth detection system, but this is the thing. It's not a polygraph test. As you saw when Nancy Grace confronted him, he turned around and changed his story and said, well, it's not really, well, I really don't know. It's what they told me. Everything that Brandon Tatum is doing, he's being a speculative. Everything he's doing is what he's accusing people of doing on social media. He's making speculation and he's believing everything that they say without any proof. Lied to the public by saying it was a polygraph test and it wasn't. Now, let me put this up here on the screen because this is very important. He keeps saying that they took a polygraph test because he wants you to believe that they are innocent or that they didn't have anything to do with Nolan's death. Okay, we need more evidence, right? We need more things to come out. We've got the audio that came out, right? That was in that someone worked on that. That's Jeanette who worked on that audio. And the audio it had things in there that leads me to believe there's something strange going on, right? But this man is saying the polygraph because he wants to put in the minds of people that everybody is completely innocent. When he tells you that we need to wait for the investigation to complete itself, he hasn't waited for the investigation to complete. This is the reality here, everybody. Don't be fooled by Brandon Tatum. Polygraph tests are generally not admissible as evidence in Mississippi courtrooms because court view them as lacking scientific reliability. Rules on admissibility, they ban this in Mississippi. They ban these polygraph tests. The truth or the polygraph examination results cannot be introduced as evidence in a court of law. So if this whole thing goes to trial, they couldn't even use those polygraph tests even if they were to pass them. And Brandon Tatum is a liar because he doesn't know if they did or not because he's only going on what they tell him. But this is why you know he's a liar because he says that they took a CIT test, a stress pressure test. As he was being jammed on her show, he finally admitted. Now check this out. All this stuff that Brandon Tatum is talking about is nothing but pure smoke screen because even the CIT test can't be used in court. The Concealed Information Test, CIT, formerly known as the Guilt Knowledge Test, is a memory detection technique, right? But it cannot be used in the court of law. Let me show you what I'm talking about right here. It cannot be used as evidence in Mississippi courts. Mississippi courts and statutes treat these assessments, these lie detector tools, as they call them, as a legally inadmissible to a court case. General inadmissibility under Mississippi law and courts procedures, the results of truth and deception, verification examinations, including standard polygraph, are barred from being introduced as evidence in a court of law. So when Brandon Tatum is constantly talking about this, let me put this down right here. When he's constantly talking in this manner, he comes from a position of low vibrations. It's not admissible. If this man was truly a seasoned police officer, he must have not been a good police officer because if he was, he would know automatically it's a waste of time to keep pushing that narrative because if it was to go to court, none of this stuff can be used. Not the polygraph test, not the CIT test, lie detective test. that he was saying, that he was acting like he didn't know. Well, I think they took a stress test, or but it wasn't a polygraph. After saying it was a polygraph, and after getting on his social media telling y'all that they took a polygraph test. What a piece of you know what. This man hates himself, and when you hate yourself, you hate people that look like you hate self and kind, and that starts to manifest itself in which you do not like black people who look like you. Brandon Tatum doesn't like black people, and as a result, he's willing to cape and believe anything white people say because they're white, they're right, and they say so. That's the mentality that Brandon Tatum has. Okay? And you know he was lying because his emotions changed as Nancy Grace was confronting him, and his eyes start bugging out. But when I talk about self-hate around this man, he sits there, never asked Warren Hudson, hey, why didn't you go to the, why didn't you, why are you not emotional? You didn't cry, you're not crying. These guys are not, Warren Hudson didn't cry, didn't show no emotions. And this is just another day at the park for Brandon Tatum to continue grifting and putting his brand out there. He is an interloper. Nobody should be listening to him. He doesn't even like black people. He doesn't like himself. Check out this clip right here where he says he's so sick of black people, but he likes black people that are conservative, that think like him. Right?
He clip this and get that, and I don't care. I really feel this way. I'm getting sick of black people. Right? I like the black people like me and others that are conservative, that's smart, but the rest of y'all, I'm sick of y'all.
Go to bat for white people more than he would his own people in a place called Mississippi that has a long history of BSing around. The same individuals that he claimed that he interviewed, who didn't go to the parents first physically to talk to them, the same individuals who didn't bring back the phone and the keys of Nolan to the family. But we know that people like Jelani Williams and his brother attended the funeral. He was on that island, had some things to say, said he saw saw Nolan, should I say, around 4 o'clock, but he still managed to show up to the funeral and show his face. None of these people have. And that's why a lot of black folks, we find this all suspicious. Brandon Tatum doesn't like his own people, and that's why he has no credibility, should not be listened to, and he is a liar. Y'all let me know what you think. Make comments in the comment section of this video. Share this video on all social media. If you want more videos like this, I'll be back with more. This is the Information Man. Be blessed. Tell someone you love them. Brandon Tatum has no...
She like my baby mama, know how to take care of me. Give my baby problems, you gon' regret everything. So I let her know, gotta let her know. Came through the front door, I'll be ready for her. And if it's what you want, I'ma give it to you. Yeah, promise, I'ma give it to you. Miss that smile, Lord knows I ain't seen that in a while.
This and get that, and I don't care. I really feel this way. I'm getting sick of black people.
You a queen that must be
right? I like the black people like me and others that
are not telling you what I meant and how I felt. Honestly, I'm used to throwing wishes in a well. My conscience tells me that I could have helped without fail. Actions speak louder than words, and that's a lesson that I learned all by myself. Let her know.
This and get that. I don't care. I really feel this way. I'm getting sick of black people. Right? I like the black people like me and others that are conservative, that's smart, but the rest of y'all, I'm sick of y'all.
Gotta let 'em know. Came through the front